Sid, I'd love to get your opinion on La Liga taking their games abroad. You've obviously been covering the league for decades now. What are your thoughts on it actually being played, league games outside of Spain?
Well, this is something that Javier Tebas, the president of the league, has talked about before this first came up. What is it? I think 3 years ago now, when he was talking about taking a Girona-Barcelona game abroad. One of the reasons why this has become an issue again is, of course, before it was blocked by the Spanish Federation because Tebas and Rubiales, the president of the Spanish Federation, didn't get on at all and the Federation blocked it. Now, what's happened since then? Two really big things. One, the Federation has taken the Super Cup to Saudi Arabia. So their argument that you can't take games abroad looks a little bit weak. And the other, of course, as everybody knows, Rubiales has now been forced out of the Federation. So Tebas is going to try again. Now, I have a number of issues with this. And one of the ones that I have is that I'm a little bit doubtful about the impact, the real impact on a foreign market, in this case probably the US, but it may well be that they look at other countries as well, in terms of the legacy of that game. Now, obviously, it's one thing to say, get a huge stadium, sell it out. Will you sell it out? Will that game generate money? Yes, it probably will. My doubt is whether it generates real money in terms of genuinely creating a new fan base, because presumably the immense majority of the people that go will be people who are already fans of Spanish football. They may not necessarily kind of start spending more money on Spanish football, following it more deeply than they already are. You may not get a huge influx of new fans, not least, of course, because La Liga's plan at the moment is for only one game. Now, I think we all probably realise that it will start with one game and it will end up being more. Then you're going to have the argument about which teams is it? What kind of compensation do you give to fans of those teams here in Spain if you take games off them here and take them, in this case, to the US or to wherever else it is they end up playing? I think it's problematic, but I don't think it's an insurmountable problem. But I must admit, personally, I'm uncomfortable with it.
OK, we're all based in the US here. On the point about getting new fans, and we know there are lots of La Liga fans already here in the US, do you think that's something that it would be able to do to get new La Liga fans on board here?
Oh, man. You know, this is a conversation and from a different angle that has been taking place in Major League Soccer for a long period of time, that you bring in some of the European teams here to play MLS teams, and the hope is that those fans that are coming to watch the European team, whether that's Manchester United or Arsenal or Spurs or whoever it may be, and they're watching their local MLS team, that somehow they make the connection with their local MLS team. And so therefore, next weekend when the local MLS team is playing at home and Manchester United has gone back home, those guys are going to come back. That crowd is going to come back. And I can just tell you, having gone through it myself, that doesn't quite happen. The moment that Barcelona goes home, the moment that Real Madrid goes home, those people that came to watch Real Madrid and Barcelona are not coming back to watch the local MLS team. I've seen it happen. I've gone through it myself. And so I have to then sort of play out this scenario that you're putting forth, okay, and say, okay, if indeed it's Barcelona-Girona, the Barcelona fans are going to go crazy. They're all going to go watch, right? The Girona fans, wherever they may be, they're going to show up. And those are it. See, your regular Dallas Cowboys fan is not coming to watch Barcelona play and magically becomes a Barcelona fan. He's probably already, or he or she is already a Barcelona fan to begin with, if you're coming and showing up to watch this game. If you're going to pay whatever money you're asked to pay in order to watch this game, it's because you're probably a fan of Barcelona already. And if you're making the 5-hour drive to watch Girona play, it's because you're probably a hardcore Girona fan to come and watch your team play. I don't think you're making new fans. I just think you're strengthening your position as Barcelona fans or whoever the other team may be. So this idea that by playing games abroad, you're attracting a new crowd, yeah, a casual sort of new eyes onto La Liga. But to follow it week in, and week out, I don't think that's quite the case. I think that's something that plays very well in a boardroom and in a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, but it doesn't play well in reality.
So no from you too, Stevie?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't get my head around why MLS would let them anywhere near the place, quite frankly. Because, as Ali's saying, you know, some people will come on one night, and obviously MLS thinks, or would think, again, talking boardroom, well, if these people come to our stadium or our stadiums, then maybe they'll come back when this team's not here. But, as Ali said, the reality is that's not what happens. The whole day out, night out, there's a new circus in town, and then when it goes, then everybody else goes with it.
Luis, as a player, do you like it?
As a player, no, probably not. But I would like to say something about it because probably we are not seeing in the business plan that probably La Liga has been doing for the past 15 years. Let's say that I traveled to the US back in 2003, and we were Barcelona. We were playing Barcelona against AC Milan, Barcelona against United, United and against Juventus. There were 10,000 people back in Boston, New York, and the other one was San Francisco, I think it was. 10,000 people back then. I went on the pre-season tour 5 years back with Barcelona, with a B team, let's call it this way. There was no Messi, there was no Luis Suarez, and they were playing against Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur. And there were 70,000 people. Every single year it's been increasing the number of people is watching football. Of course, if we try to think that La Liga is going to go to the MLS or to the US, and because they were going to play one game there, it's not going to do much. Yeah, it's true that in 1 year and 2 years, no. But the battling between Premier League and La Liga has been always there. If you go to the market in Asia, of course, is Asia the one follows Premier League. So La Liga has been trying to catch up every single year. And of course, it's always very difficult. So that's why they are trying to open the market in the United States. It's the only way to battling. The fans, of course, they are going to be angry. That's something that we all know. But I'm sure that if you ask the fan, listen, would you like to bring Mbappe to Real Madrid? Would you like to bring the top players to Barcelona? Would you like to bring top players to Atletico de Madrid? Yes, all will agree. And how the teams are going to get the money to get those players? You have to find a way. And a good way is to go to other countries, to go to other markets and try to bring infrastructure, try to bring investment. And that's the way. That's why La Liga is trying to implement a way of bringing investment to all the teams in La Liga. And what way is? Go to the United States. A good market, massive market that is growing very much, as we've seen with MLS and the arrival of players like Lionel Messi, Busquets, and so on. So I think that if we think in the short period, yes, of course, it's not going to be worth it. But if we go and look to the 10, 15 years, that's I think that La Liga is trying to think about, I think it will be a fantastic investment.